Right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Tesla Life episode 26 for October 25th, 2017. My name is Russell Frost. I am your host in my sort of slightly Batman villain-esque angle lair here. But luckily for you, I have the dynamic duo with me this evening. So let's introduce them and get this show started. The man in the red sweatshirt. You may remember him. No, I don't know. From some other movie. His name is still Mark Godwin.
I'm going to pretend to be climbing the Batman rope up the side of the building. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's not all about Batman, but we're starting that way. So I just thought I'd follow along.
Thank you for going with the show's theme. I appreciate that. And the man next to him, rather well illuminated, if not from underneath, my friend, Mr. Tony Schaefer.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tony Schaefer, and you might remember me from such movies as Calling All Quakers and Cry Yuma. I'm here today to talk to you about
it's like he has a card ready for it. You know?
That's what I want to know.
So, no, seriously, all you have to do is Google Troy McClure movies, and it comes up with a list.
Nice.
And I did that real fast. Yeah.
Well, those of you who aren't right now at this moment Googling Troy McClure movie, thank you for staying with us. And we've got some fun news. The first thing I want to do, because of course our good friend and regular panelist Patrick Connor not with us tonight, and that makes us sad. But nonetheless, Patrick asked if we wouldn't put in a plug for him, and we're all about the plugs, right? So first thing, see that is that backwards?
No, it works. Looks good
on yours. See, because I can't flip my camera on, it's backwards. So everything's weird. But that is Patrick Connor's Tesla referral code. And what that's going to do is lead you to a page that looks just like that. So if you're going to buy a Tesla product, whether it's solar or it's a Model S or an X, Patrick's going to get a little kickback, not like cash, not like drugs. I mean, I think he gets an Elon autographed wetsuit or something ridiculous like that. I have no idea what he's going to do.
He's going to Mars.
Yeah.
One-way ticket.
If you're going to buy one anyway, okay, hook a guy up, okay? Patrick's a good guy. So just so you know, that link is, let's see, let me go here. It's tesla.com/referral/Patrick7819. And that is Patrick 781. Oh, I'm holding up the sign, but I'm still showing the web page. That is Patrick 7819. So hook a brother up.
And if you do, you're going to get $1,000 off of your purchase too. So why not?
That's right. I forgot. You get money off if you use a referral code. So
that's right. And the supercharging for life. It's a win-win-win situation.
You do something good for Patrick and you get free stuff. Supercharging for life.
For life.
Not on the model.
Only on the S and the X.
But if you do get the solar through Patrick, he will come and personally install it for you.
Of course he will.
Perform some sort of secret system optimization.
Yes.
Yeah, Patrick's got his license in solar roof installation, so he'll be at your place putting it on. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, sure. Wink, wink. Yeah.
And I'm going to come to your house and make you breakfast that day. If you believe that, send us money right now, too. Well, let's talk about the news. Let's see. Let's talk. Mark, help me out here. I think you've got the first news story, my friend.
I do, indeed. What we've got, and of course, I was looking at a different page, so now I've got to quickly go back to it. But hey, that's my issue.
You just let me know if you want me to put it up. I'll be happy to screenshot.
I got it.
Oh, thank you, Tony. See, we're a cooperative effort here at the Tesla Life.
Screw you.
All right. You're an asshole. Okay.
The first story was about service fans. It turns out that Tesla executive was making a speech in Europe, and the question came up about why does Tesla, with its used to be called Rangers, now it's just mobile service, why do they show up in a gas-powered vehicle to fix the electric cars in your driveway? And the executive indicated that there is something coming that's in the works that will allow Tesla to switch from the gas-powered vehicles to an electric vehicle. And that will be starting to hit the roads next year in 2018. And we've further heard from other sources, or some addition to the source, the original source, that these vehicles are basically going to be the skateboard of the Model S or X modified to allow them to pull to bring all the tools required to be a Tesla service vehicle. So they're going to basically develop their own exterior shell to fit all the service items inside of this new vehicle. And of course, with the vehicle having a brand new shell, they're going to have to go through safety certification. It's going to have to go through the transportation board to make sure that that this new design is safe and roadworthy. So it'll be interesting to see what the actual end shape looks like. If it's going to be like, a bubbled Model X, or what they're going to do. Will it still have falcon wing doors? I doubt it. But they haven't told us anything beyond that, except it's going to be built on the frame of an S or an X and use that same battery pack, but with a different silhouette. So, and that's been often wondered, is, obviously that they had to have a certain size in order to encompass all the machinery that they require on these vehicles. And an S or an X, as it sits, wasn't conducive to do that. So they rented gas-powered vehicles to this point.
I get the kind of like gotcha sort of like, you shouldn't use an ICE van to service an EV. That said, you're a startup company. You're already getting your balls busted for blowing through lots and lots of money.
Yeah.
Buying off-the-shelf ICE vans, a few, whatever, maybe 100 of them, or how many ever there are. It's not a mortal sin, okay?
To some it is, to us it's not.
Maybe we could lighten up a little bit on that.
I think the more reasonable Tesla owner would say, okay, I get it. You need that. And you're not going to go out and buy a Nissan, what is it, the N3000, or what's their electric?
Yeah, you're definitely not going to be buying the N2000, yeah.
So, yeah. But kudos for them for burning through a little more cash and creating electric vans.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's cool, though. And I hope they don't waste a lot of money. And I do mean waste a lot of money building this van, because it's not, although who knows, maybe it's something they can sell. I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows? This may become their, another surprise release. They're starting to push these out.
That's a good point. I didn't even think of that.
Right? I mean, you just accidentally go, right? I mean, look at the whole 3M Post-it note saga. You know what I mean?
Or they find out that the U.S. Post Office Service would need this exact vehicle, and they sell a bazillion of them. So who knows?
Right. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't even think about the concept of turning around and marketing their
brand new marketed vehicle. Didn't even have to try.
Yeah. So I did find it interesting in the article. Someone had mentioned about, well, maybe they'll use their upcoming heavy truck semi tech. And then in the very next sentence, they wrote it off as, no, they would never reveal their future tech until they reveal it themselves. So.
Yeah.
And I mean, certainly the tractor is nice, except, I mean, you don't really need something that big to do what this van does,
Right.
Yeah.
You need a van. Go figure. And oddly enough, people make vans. Well, let's go from something that Tesla's going to do to make people happy to something that Tesla did that didn't make people happy.
Well, make certain people happy. You're right. We heard about last week about the firing that happened in Fremont between 400 and 700 people, and just the other day there was a type of protest that was put together by Tesla ex-employees and maybe some people from the union that want to get a union in place at Tesla. So we had the normal picket signs and people marching around and chanting in front of the Tesla factory. So I don't know. I don't know what to call this. What do you guys think? Is this just tit for tat type stuff? Is this union organized? It certainly has the markings of it, but I guess it. People don't just organize themselves, but if you get, 400 to 700 people being fired, I guess this kind of thing could happen, can it?
Or 1,000 people, I guess, depending on whose story you believed, between 1,000 and 1,200 may have been actually let go. You know what? I don't know that I need to go down the rat hole of like unions. Suffice to say, unions played an important part in this country's history. And Tesla doesn't want a union. Apparently, some of Tesla's employees might want a union. If Tesla is illegally firing people because they want to unionize, that's illegal and it's abhorrent. Yeah. If this is just the union capitalizing on an annual bloodletting, well, okay, then that's opportunism and it's insincere.
Right.
That's my take.
And we know that Tesla has, when they purchased that other group in Germany last year, that they knew there was a possibility of a union going into that shop as well in Germany. And it was just announced last week or the week before that they avoided a union being put in there because Tesla came in with some raises to the employees.
Right.
And they avoided a union. So
what a coinky dink. I mean, who would have thought?
So you make the employees happy and the union talk goes away.
I mean, I think honestly, that's the way it's worked in a lot of the post-unionization factories, whether it's Nissan or Toyota or whoever, on top of very, very stealth union suppression. Generally speaking, they try and take better care of their people.
Right. And you are absolutely correct, Russell, that the unions played a very important role in this country. The companies used to work people 7 days a week. They used to hire kids 10 to 13 years old. They used to pay sub-living wages. And unions were extremely important in making employers, pay correctly, getting a 2-day weekend, which we take for granted, but that used to never happen. So now you do see a bunch of companies treating their employees better for the fear of unions coming in. We don't have that anymore, because if a company started saying, oh, by the way, and you're going to have to work 7 days a week, people would just leave and go to somewhere else. And that company would just cease to be.
Yeah, and certainly unions paved the way to have that happen, like for this to become the norm today. But it's again, it's kind of like a pendulum swing. Sometimes it goes too far one way and then swings back the other way too far as well. So it's that trying to keep a happy balance in the middle that makes both sides happy, which is the difficult thing to do.
Absolutely.
So I do want to, while we're talking about this, I do want to mention a book that I read. That is very good. I'm going to see if I can screen share this real quick. Hold on.
These are not like the movies that you've been a part of earlier in the show.
No, these are legal and do not.
These movies, no.
They do not include consenting adults. So this one, it's called Crash Course: The American Automobile Industry's Road to Bankruptcy and Bailout and Beyond. This book is an exceptional book looking into the American automobile industry. And what makes it so fascinating is you hear stories of the manufacturers blaming the union, and you hear about the union blaming the manufacturers. And then you read this book, and it's in my opinion, it's very level-handed. There are fingers to point on both sides, and it is absolutely fascinating, some of the stuff that was being done on both sides to manipulate opinion, to manipulate the media, and then when nobody was looking, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. It's an amazing book. If you can get your hands on this, it's called Crash Course. I do recommend that you read it if you're at all interested in what takes place behind the curtains in the manufacturing, automobile manufacturing industry.
Very good. Very good.
Nice. Thank you, Tony. We actually got literary there for a moment.
I know. Go figure.
Book of the Month Club.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of important things, the next story Mark's going to talk about is about something going on in Puerto Rico.
Yes, as we know, Puerto Rico got hit hard with a hurricane, actually twice. The second time was worse.
Yeah.
And the desolation to their power system is well known. I believe to this date, they still have 80% or somewhere in that area of residents without the use of electricity. Some even without, some without fresh water as well. And Tesla had stated a week ago or so, maybe a week and a half, that they were going to delay the unveil of the Semi because they have other projects that they wanted to tackle. One of them, of course, being the bottlenecks for the Model 3, and the other Elon mentioned, which was the ability to get extra power packs to Puerto Rico. And today's story shows Tesla making good on that promise and delivering some solar panels and storage to Puerto Rico in the form of installation at a children's hospital. So they are making good on their promise to get some of the infrastructure running in critical areas. Obviously, a hospital being one of them where you need constant power. That they are installing as we sit right now, a number of panels and power packs to store the energy from those panels and keep the hospital on a more even keel with its power needs. So fantastic, and of course this is great PR. Tesla's done this in a number of other different remote countries and areas where it's tough to get power. Hats off. I hope they can put in a number of these installations and get some of these people relief that they certainly deserve at this point.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a wonderful thing. And obviously, there's an argument to be made for this to be in place so that it helps minimize the impact of future events like Maria. But that's not the point right now. The point right now is that there's a desperate need for it. And the Tesla people stepped up and did it. There was no send us money or anything else. They just said, we're going to do this, and they're doing it. And, so that's awesome.
Right. And with that, there's also discussions, I guess, with the governor of Puerto Rico about going beyond the Band-Aid measures and getting things up in critical areas, but also maybe getting a bigger plan in place to make Puerto Rico's power grid more stable with a number of these different installations spread across the island. So there is those discussions ongoing. Kind of like the discussions happened with the Australian government, where they had an issue, and Tesla came up and tabled a solution that ultimately that was selected and is now in place.
So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't want to say it's more interesting than the car thing. But I'm just trying to get a rise out of somebody in the chat room, probably.
Well, I certainly believe that this as you mentioned, Russell. This is a situation where Tesla stepped up. Like this is not necessarily anything to do with profit or pushing the company forward. This is humanitarian aid. This is something that allows them to give back to a community, and rightfully so. They've done so.
Absolutely. Yeah. And in a larger sense, this, the implications of the technology that Tesla's distributing here have really big ramifications. I mean, yes, revolutionizing transportation is huge, but also revolutionizing power distribution is equally huge and affects even more people than the car.
Initially, it touches many more.
Yeah. So, I've been fascinated with the whole Solar City thing and the Powerwall, and to kind of see where Tesla would go with it. And it's still very, very young. It's still very early in the timeline to kind of get a feel for it. But I look forward to them distributing this technology and getting it out there for people, because I think it's going to improve lives.
Yeah, I just personally think it's a shame that, Elon had to go to the governor of Puerto Rico and had to bypass the president of Puerto Rico because the Puerto Rican president is a bumbling idiot.
I don't even think he believes he is the president.
I don't think he knows, right?
But we digress.
I don't want these emails. I just don't want these emails.
Well, it's not like he's already a sponsor.
Yeah, I know. No.
So we didn't lose a sponsor, that's for sure.
No, I just, that whole issue is like, no.
I don't know. I'll find out at 5:30 tomorrow morning on my Twitter feed.
Exactly. Well,
and before we leave that, I don't know. Was Tony able to share a picture? I'll share a picture.
Yeah, I put all the pictures up.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, they're actually some nice photos, and I'll do the same for this article. How's that for a deal? So we're talking about, building up the power grid. Mark's final story tonight is something that's going to maybe, I'm joking, going to put a little hurting on another power grid somewhere else.
The last story we have is to do with the world's largest supercharger opening up recently, and guess where? I'll give you a hint. It's not North Dakota, but we've got the world's largest supercharger opening up with 50 stalls. So that's the new high water mark that's been set for superchargers.
Look how clean it is.
It's immaculate. And it's in an underground garage. There's not a speck of garbage anywhere.
No, it's horrifying. It looks like an operating room.
Someone has polished the floors of the parking lot.
Yeah.
Labeled them with new white paint. And man, it looks like you could eat off the floor of this place.
It's impressive looking. I mean, I don't know who has to mop up at night, but I'm glad it's not me.
So this is in the Pudong district of Shanghai, China, is where this supercharger is.
You're a brave man, Mark Coughlin.
So I just jumped into that, but I think I got it. So that was good. That was good. But this impressive installation. Again, even done without the urban chargers that are now available for urban areas like New York and Chicago and Boston, that they're putting these in with the smaller chargers. These are the full-size superchargers that you see normally at an installation. And the 50 of them are in place in this underground parking on a couple of different decks within the parking structure. But pretty impressive. I would like to see this in person. And what kind of, if you put 50 in a building, how many cars are flowing into that place?
Wow.
If you've got the demand to have 50 chargers, like how many Teslas are within, a 10-mile radius of that location? It must be a ton of them.
Well, maybe not a lot yet, but, we've often said horse and cart. Maybe they're removing the barrier and saying, go ahead and buy one. We've already got the chargers.
Maybe.
You have to give Tesla credit for building the infrastructure and then saying, okay, buy the product. Not saying buy the product, trust us, we're gonna deploy this. And I mean,
Right.
I know that they're falling short of the goal, but there's still an enormous amount of chargers out there. And again, not to point out, 100% more chargers than any other car company on the planet has deployed.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know what? I have one question. Does anybody know how much heat one of these things generates?
Very good question, because most of these obviously are located outside.
Yeah.
So that is an excellent question.
I'm wondering what that's going to do to the environment in that garage.
But you know that if you've ever been in a high-rise garage, that there's a lot of heat down there anyways.
Yeah.
Coming from HVAC systems and whatever else. That will this add to an already tropical temperature that may be there? So
I don't know.
Yeah. One other thing I'll share about superchargers that we don't have in the script
One more thing
is this interesting Tesla supercharger under construction. We've got 20 stalls that are being put in place, and this is in Barrie, Ontario, just about a half hour or so north of the Toronto, the Greater Toronto area.
I think the last remaining Quiznos restaurant in North America.
Maybe
Let's get a lot of business.
Or they get none because they've just given up their front parking lot.
Yeah, to go only.
It's all walk-in traffic at the Quiznos. But this will be Canada's largest supercharger installation with 20 stalls.
What's the biggest in North America? Do you know? Do you guys know?
I believe it's about to be 40.
It's the one in on I-5 in California, isn't it?
I think so. Yes. I believe that's 40 chargers.
Yeah. That. Oh, I can't.
God, you would need 2 Quiznos for that.
And there's a shot of the actual power packs that they'll typically surround with some sort of fencing. The fencing obviously not up yet.
Nope. Now you just back up a truck and it's yours.
It's gone. Yeah. So after this photo was shown, the white box has disappeared the next night. Who knows why? Yeah. But they were here at one point, as these photos dictate. So.
Yeah, it's either Coalinga or Button Willow. I forget which one. Let me see. I think it's Coalinga. Yeah.
Okay.
It's Coalinga, California, which is the halfway point, sort of between San Jose and Los Angeles on I-5. So that's the one with the big. They were talking about doing the battery swap station.
That's right. Yeah.
The ill-fated battery swaps.
Yeah.
And I believe the next one that they'll roll out it's got the the Tesla convenience store, or what they're deeming as the the stopover with a restaurant or something inside of it. I think that is going to debut in California as well.
What do you think Tesla Big Gulp cups are going to go for? Like $30? I mean, I think about things like that. I'm sorry.
I don't know that they wouldn't call them big gulps. They'd call them level 1, level 2, and super.
Your level 3 drink, sir.
Your level 3 drink. Your level 3 Diet Coke.
Comes with a straw that's about this big.
I'm sorry, I ordered the Chatamo, okay? Somebody over there going, where's the CCN?
Your level 3 drink and Chatamo burger is on its way.
God, we have comedy. That's all.
That's all we got.
And while we're on the subject a little bit loosely, let's just get an update from the Model 3s.
Oh, yeah?
We've just received something earlier today that we can share. Spotted in a parking lot. This white Model 3 was shown. And this is, of course, the Tesla Fremont factory parking lot. And there's the all-important VIN number. We're up to 511.
511.
511 with actual photographic proof of 511. There's been others that have said that other numbers exist, but I keep an eye out and get the actual VIN number to confirm that that is real. So 511, I believe, is the highest number we have photographic evidence at this point. If anyone out there happens to have something that would be the VIN number of a Model 3, please send it in to our Twitter feed, and we'll get it published as well. And that is at the Tesla Life on Twitter.
That's so beautiful.
Nice segue.
Nicely done, Mark. Nicely done. And you know, our friend again, Patrick Connor, had said that he's seen reports of. Was that, I should say, was Patrick or was that Mark? Said we've seen reports of Teslas being delivered all over the country now to employees.
That was Patrick. He was saying that this week is going to be a ship date for a number of different Teslas across the country. So employees at stores and I would assume stores are getting these cars starting this week. So we saw a report for Massachusetts. We saw one for the New York area. One was on Long Island. So there's a few of them that are starting to move out.
Long Island.
Long Island.
Long Island. Well, that's what we got this week, kids. Let's do some shout outs and go home. Tony, do you have anything to talk about?
Okay, so this is going to be really random. I realize it's going to seem really bizarre, but of all things, I actually want to give a shout out to the Chicago Passport Authority. I told you that was going to sound random.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, why is this coming out?
Okay, so here's the thing. I occasionally, and it's been more rare lately than in the past, but I occasionally am asked to travel internationally for work. I was told to book a flight about 4 weeks ago, pulled out my passport this past Saturday and realized it was expired. My flight's in 14 days. No, we're now down to 8.
Nice.
So after I cleaned my shorts, I started researching what do I need to do to get a passport. And there is a passport authority in downtown Chicago. So Monday morning, I was on the train. Well, actually, Monday morning, 7:30, I was getting my passport photo taken. Then I was on the train, went downtown, and I swear to you, 18 minutes from start to finish, and I was done.
What about the $1,200?
Well, yeah, it actually the passport cost $110. That's how much passports cost. There was the $60 expedition, to expedite it, which was on me, so I have to pay that. And then I also paid for rapid UPS. And so that was Monday morning. I was in and out before noon, and before noon today, UPS dropped off my passport.
Ah, very nice.
48 hours, I had a new passport. It blew me away on how well the process worked, how nice everybody was, believe it or not, government agency. So, hey, I know they're not watching or listening, but kudos to the Chicago Passport Authority. They really helped me out.
Right on.
Very good.
Well, good for them. Nice. Mr. Coughlin?
Just wanted to mention, if you are out there on the internet, please not only follow us on Twitter, but also follow us on our Facebook page, which is www.facebook.com/the-Tesla-Life1. And please sign up, say hello, and converse with us through the week as we put the show together. Share and let us know what you think. Love to hear some comments from you at any point. So look forward to seeing you throughout the week on Twitter and on our Facebook page.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And don't forget, if you're going to buy a Model S or a Model X or a solar roof, Patrick 7819 is go to tesla.com/referral/Patrick 7819 and order it there. You'll not only save money and get get free charging, but Patrick might get something. And we like Patrick. So what the hell?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? As always, our thanks go to Lee Moon, who kindly composed our theme music and lets us use it for free. I can't explain it.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
But thanks to him. Tony, Mark, thank you to you guys. I appreciate you coming in this week.
Thank you, Russell.
Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks for hanging around.
Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks to all of you who watch. You're the reason we do it. Check in with us next week and find out what is going on in the Tesla life.